What's going on, my good people over here on YouTube, man? It's your boy Lico TV, Lico Bands TV, whichever one you want to call me these days, man. But I'm back from my TikTok thing, man. I'm banned. But it's a really great time for me to be banned too because they dropped the files today, right? Friday, I was busy. Tried to get on TikTok, got banned. Doing the reading the files on TikTok. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna break them down while I'm banned and put them on YouTube." Because I know everybody's probably gonna go over the when somebody puts something out there. So I'm gonna go over the J.P. Morgan Chase thing because I don't know. I haven't looked at nobody else shit. I'm me. So we doing that right now. You feel me? We finna go over the JP Morgan Chase uh case that was brought up back in 2022 that I don't know nothing about. If you knew something about it, drop it in the comments below. Tell me I don't know nothing, but I'll be trying to educate myself. But me not knowing that JP Morgan Chase was complacent in a child trafficking enterprise is news to me. So without further ado, let's get right into the goddamn document, people. All right. So into the document, as you can see, this comes from the DOJ.gov. I pulled it off because this is the only thing I really need to go over from over here tonight. And depending how you guys rocking with this, I'll break down some more obscure cases or just keep going over some more files, more long form, with no interruptions. Because TikTok is other people want to ask questions, want to debate shit. But here, you get in the comments, let me know how you feel about it. Make sure you like that video. So as you can see, government of the United States Virgin Islands v. J.P. Morgan Chase. Now, I'm going to scroll through the case, and you guys can go ahead and kind of read some of this for yourselves, but I've already read it multiple times already because I've read it on live, like I said, when I got banned. And then I shot a video for this earlier, and then I it's like, nah, I gotta shorten it up. But essentially, they're saying that J.P. Morgan Chase was complicit with Epstein and his co-executors of his estate and various other co-conspirators, and using and line and being a part of an enterprise. And J.P. Morgan Chase in September of 2022 in her ongoing effort to protect safety and to hold accountable for those who facilitate or participate in directly or indirectly the trafficking enterprise uh, helmed. So J.P. Morgan Chase was basically, aware. They was allowing a lot of suspicious activities going on with Epstein. Um, let's see here. Let me jump around to some meats and some potatoes. So it says that right here, if we stop right here at bottom six, as described below on document review and interviews conducted by the government, J.P. Morgan knowingly facilitated, sustained, and concealed the human trafficking network operated by Jeffrey Epstein from his home and base in the Virgin Islands, and financially benefited from this participation directly or indirectly by failing to comply with federal banking regulations. JP Morgan facilitated and concealed wire and cash transactions, the rise suspicion of and were in fact part of a criminal enterprise whose currency was the sexual servitude of dozens of women and girls and beyond the Virgin Islands. Human trafficking was the principal business of the accounts Epstein maintained at J.P. Morgan Chase. Okay, so like I said, J.P. Morgan Chase was fully aware, fully compliant in the whole child trafficking ring. Okay, and human trafficking ring, because when we jump down here a little bit more, uh get to some real raw data because it's a lot of mumbo jumbo, what Chase is, what they supposed to be doing, what's their obligations, because that's what that is, this, that, and the third. But this is the stuff here, right? Now, if you want to go and read what that's supposed to say, I will freeze frame it, maybe go back and freeze frame it, post it. I might just tag this in the comments. I mean, in the description below, so y'all can go look at it yourselves. But anyway, uh, but coming down here, it says in 2008, Epstein pled guilty to one count of solicitation of prostitution with a minor, which it should have been way worse than that, and Palm Beach. As a result of that conviction, Epstein was forced to register as a sex offender in the Virgin Islands. Epstein was a Tier 1 offender under Virgin Islands law upon the Florida conviction of procuring a minor for prostitution. Now you scroll down a little bit more. You want to come down because SunTrust to peer so this is the thing in 2012 his company SunTrust, one of the companies Epstein owned and applied for economic benefits which he received, which he got a 10-year package for, which would run from February 1st of 2013 until January 31st of 2023. That included a 90% exception from income tax and 100% exception from gross receipts, access, and withholding taxes in the Virgin Islands. Okay, so this is how locked in this man was with J.P. Morgan Chase. J.P. Morgan Chase don't give a damn about nothing but money. Okay, because they were fully aware of a child trafficking ring, which makes me want to say how many more are they aware of? Because this illicit association of Epstein's businesses and his associates consists what is referred to harem as the Epstein enterprise. These are the following these are the following LLCs and everything he was a part of, including SunTrust Company down at the bottom. You got enhanced education. I'm gonna be looking into this enhanced education stuff, see if I could see what they was connected to before they start wiping stuff. Um, Epstein used his wealth to create the enterprise, which engaged in a pattern of criminal activity by reportedly procuring and subjecting underage girls and young women to unlawful sexual conduct, sex trafficking, and forced labor. Many of these women, particularly after Epstein's conviction in 2008, were trafficked from Eastern Europe, as the government explained in its second amended complaint. These women were recruited and, in several instances, required to marry other Epstein victims in order to maintain immigration status and their availability to Epstein. This is the J.P. Morgan Chase documents. This isn't about Epstein. This I'm gonna scroll back up to the top for the people. I'm gonna scroll back up to the top because that's really the meat of the potatoes. Because when you scroll down, it starts to get redacted because they talk about a lot of businesses, businessmen. As you can see, J.P. Morgan Chase did business with Jeffrey Epstein from as early as blank in time. J.P. Morgan Place serve approximately blank, 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 blank. Then it comes down here. It says that a former executive, Jess Stanley, developed a close relationship with Epstein, and Stanley was the head of J.P. Morgan's private bank, which is a segment of J.P. Morgan's business dedicated to extremely wealthy clients with at least 10 million in assets. Then you go blank, 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 blank. At the time Epstein's death in 2019, Stanley was chief executive officer uh what's that? Berkeley. What's that? Berkeley? Bruce Lee? I don't know. Whatever. However, Stanley stepped down from his position in November 2021 after British financial regulators uh, concluded an investigation into Stanley's characterization of his relationship with Epstein. Also, he was a foreign banker. Blank, blankety, blank, 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 blank. But you go down here, it's on and off blank stuff. But I just wanted to point this out that among the financial benefits that J.P. Morgan received from participating and facilitating Epstein's sex trafficking venture was a deposit of funds that Epstein, a Virgin Island resident, and Epstein controlled entities located in the Virgin Islands made to JP Morgan. JP Morgan profited from the use of these deposits. Epstein and Epstein controlled entities located in the Virgin Islands deposited these funds in exchange for JP Morgan's facilitation and participation in Epstein's sex trafficking venture. So, you people that's voting with JP Morgan Chase, just know your money is tied up and you are, and I'm not throwing this at nobody to be like super lit like that super guy nothing, but I'm just saying they were complicit and they knew and they were willing to do business with him. They were willing to do business with him. So with that being said, uh I think that is enough for me tonight. But we'll talk about some more of that tomorrow. I think it's going to get even more interesting, knowing that JP Morgan Chase was fully aware of this scandal. Wow. Peace out, people. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video out. I'm out till the next time.